guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rise. We're back at one of my special filming spot locations because guess what? This is another deep dive installment of this car right here. What is it? My very own Demon 170. But before we get into this drag car straight from the factory, let's talk about what's going on here. So these are deep dive videos to really take you into the nitty gritty of certain things going on, not only with my cars, with me, or with the auto industry. Now with the Demon 170, a lot of people were very interested in all of the performance. But what led me to pick one of these up? Because very hard to come by, I wanted it a certain way. Let's go ahead, hop into the passenger seat and take a little spin with me in my Demon 170 so I could tell you the backstory on how it all came to be.
All right, guys, we're inside my new Demon 170, and like I mentioned at the start of this review, I really wanted to break down the process of how we got here. Why a Demon 170? Especially since, as many of you know, I love twisty bits, and this is definitely not a car for the twisty bits. And it's a straight line car with gobs of horsepower and no manual transmission. So that to me is really why I felt extra why I needed to break down how I made the decision to get a Demon 170. Well, as many of you are aware, we were there in Las Vegas, actually before the Demon 170 was unveiled. We were there in Vegas, and Lori and I flew ourselves out there. We paid for our flights, paid for our rental car, paid for the hotel, just to get 30 minutes. Just to get 30 minutes with the new Demon 170. That's how important it was to me, and how important I thought it was to you guys to make sure that we had coverage of that car. And I remember landing in Las Vegas. It's a pain in the butt to get on the shuttle to take you to where the rental cars were. And because we got in so late the night before, pretty much all the cars were rented except for a bunch of EVs, which I did not want. And there was one Camaro RS, a V6 RS. So we went with the Camaro. So the next morning, we wake up nice and early. We go out to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I had to track down my PR contact for Dodge. And we had to drive him over in the Camaro. So Lori had to squeeze into the back seat. And we had to drive him over to this one spot where they had the car hidden, because they didn't want anybody to see the Demon 170 before it was unveiled. And it was that triple nickel color. And if you didn't see the review of that one, I'll leave it at the end of this vlog. But the presence of the car was just ridiculous. I mean, for Dodge to go all in on this final year of the Challenger and the Hemi powered Charger, to go all in with a vehicle that had 1,025 horsepower, but it's not just the horsepower, it's not just the torque, it's about all the tweaks that they had to do to make it be able to run an 8.9 second quarter mile time. I can appreciate that. Being a car guy, being a guy that's into all forms of racing, including drag racing, I can appreciate all the work and engineering that is in this car to be able to do what it does. And I remember my PR contact, I asked him, I said, before we left, will any of these be available? Will there be any allocations available for auto journalists? And he was adamant, no, we're not doing that. There's only 3,000 being built for the US, 300 being built for Canada. We're not doing it. You're gonna have to go through your local Dodge dealership. And I knew that even with my great connection with Jerry Ohm Dodge in Tampa, it would be near impossible to get one at MSRP, and I just wasn't interested in getting one with a markup on it. So I kind of forgot about it. I kind of just put it aside, because this, like I said, this is about a year and a half ago is when we saw the car. Almost 2 years ago. So, as many of you know, I wound up buying Great Babe. She's a 2023 Challenger Hellcat, regular Hellcat, but with the Tremec 6-speed manual, wide body. Really wanted to have that pure muscle car, just base interior, no bells and whistles, plumb crazy. That just checked off so many boxes. Now what's fascinating is after I bought the Challenger Hellcat manual, the jailbreak one, Lori and I were on a media drive. I can't remember what media drive it was, but we were on a media drive, and I get a call. And I didn't answer it because I didn't know the number, but they left a message, and it was my PR contact from Dodge saying that he needed to talk to me about something. Didn't even tell me what it was about. So after listening to the message, of course I had to call him. Call him up, and basically the way the story goes is that he said that there were a handful of allocations available that were not spoken for near the end of the run. And it makes sense because mine is 2,256 out of the 3,000 that were built for the United States and the 300 built for Canada. So there were a handful. There were about 5. The challenge was that I would not be able to choose any options. It wasn't like I was building it for myself. They were already spec'd. They weren't built yet, but they were spec'd. So I looked over, I told him, yeah, I'm definitely interested, especially because I knew that it was going to be for MSRP. And he said, okay, I'll email you the spreadsheet with the few that are available, and you choose the one that you want. So I got off the phone. Obviously, I got very excited when I got off the phone. I kept my cool on the phone, but I got very excited when I got off the phone, and Lori knew right away what was going on. She knew it was for the Demon 170. And then I said, well, there's a problem. And she said, what's the problem? I go, well, I just bought a Great Babe. And Lori, being the best, most amazing person, was like, well, that's not a problem. I go, it's not? She goes, no. Why don't you just get this one too? And I was like, okay. So I got the spreadsheet from him, and it just so happened that almost the way that I would spec it is what I got. I wanted a non-impact color. So basically I didn't want to go mango, even though I love that color. I just feel like every freaking Challenger I've seen, and so many I've reviewed, have been go mango. I didn't want plum crazy, obviously, because of Great Babe. Oh, hold on a second. I want to go on throttle here. On throttle, here we go. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. This thing is ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. So back to the story. I didn't want plum crazy. I didn't want sublime. And then there it was, right there in the spreadsheet, Destroyer Gray. And it was exactly the way that I would do it with, I got the flat black hood, flat black roof, flat black tailgate, or I should say trunk lid, and demonic interior. The one thing I wouldn't have gotten is the Harman Kardon Tech package. And if there was a way to get rid of the back seat, I would have got rid of that. But other than that, she is she's spec'd as if I spec'd her myself. Now, after I chose what color I wanted and got back to my contact, I then got in contact with another person at Dodge and basically had to print up 5 pages of contract, basically. And I had to initial all these different statements that I understood that this car is not to be driven in super cold temperatures. This car is not something that is a daily driver, that I have to follow a strict break-in procedure, and that I was not going to basically do anything really stupid with the car. But you know me, I'm not, I'll go on throttle, I'll smoke them because I got them, but I'm not here to do stupid things. I'm really not. So after I got those all initialed, and that's why the on throttles and the smoke them, because we got them burnout, is temporarily on hold. You have a rain check for that, is because of all those documents I have to sign, or had to sign. And believe it or not, I actually had to sign them twice. I had to sign them to get the car allocated, and then once the car was built, I had to do it again. So that's how specific it is. It's 5 separate pages, all these different paragraph statements, and all of them have to be initialed, and then of course I sign them at the end. So now the car is allocated, and what was great was I got to pick Jerry Ohm Dodge to be the receiving dealership. And what's great about the Demons, the Demon from 2018, the Demon 170, is that they come shipped on a separate enclosed trailer. They don't come on an open trailer. They're not shipped by rail. Closed trailer, white glove delivery to your dealership. And then it was great because Jerry Ohm Dodge left all the plastics on for me to take off. They let me be the one to take it up to the gas station to put the first full tank of fuel in. And that's what led me to today. So why did I get it? Why did I go this route over a Nissan GTR, a Z06 Corvette, or really any of the other ones that I talked about in the video? I think the bottom line for me is this is a special car. Not to say that the other cars aren't special, but for a brand to go all in. Remember, we were supposed to see the Demon 170 not at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We were supposed to see it at SEMA. And it wasn't there because Tim Kuniskis, the CEO at the time, was straight up and said, hey, we're blowing engines. We're blowing engines, and we're not ready to bring the car out to public yet for them to view it and to give all the numbers and everything. So you got to give Dodge credit for that. The fact that this car, I could put 93 pump, make the 900 horsepower on pump gas. I could put E85, and the ECU is going to adjust everything automatically for that 1,025 horsepower. That to me really shows how special this car is. You don't have to put a race ECU like you did on the 2018 Demon. You had to use a race ECU and run not E85, not pump gas, but race fuel, which that isn't super easy to get around here. I know a gas station where I can get it locally, but you got to change the ECU and all that. This, you just pump it in, and the car automatically calculates how much E85 you have. That is special. Another thing is that this is an end of an era. The Hemi V8, the supercharged V8. We don't know exactly what's to come. I mean, we know that there's a 2024 Charger EV that's going to be hitting dealerships. We know that there is, for 2025, the Charger 6-pack, which is that Hurricane twin turbo straight 6. But who knows? It may be sky's the limit. They may make more horsepower with the Hurricane engine. I don't know. But it's not necessarily the horsepower itself. It's that it's a supercharged V8. It's that we have these Mickey Thompson drag radials. And the fact that this car does 0 to 60 on a prep surface of 1.66 seconds, pulls over 2 Gs to where you pull the wheels off the ground, and does the quarter mile in an NHRA certified 8.9 seconds at 150 miles an hour. What? Like, that's just freaking ridiculous. It's like hard for me to even like calculate that in my brain. And we are going to be taking this to the drag strip. Once I get the braking done, once I run some E80 fuel, E85 in, and learn properly how to use the Trans Brake 2.0, we will go to the drag strip and you will be there with me. But this car is truly the end of an era. To think that this car, the way it performs, is air conditioning, heated and ventilated seats, a full factory warranty. It's just one bad mamma jamma. And I figured if I'm gonna get a car with an automatic transmission, it might as well be this one. But let me know what you think about the whole process of how I got my Demon 170. Should I have gone with the GTR, which I do love a freaking GTR. I also love that Z06. But yet again, I also love cars like the Toyota GR86. Also, don't worry, we will be doing a full garage review, and I'm gonna focus too on each one of the cars that I currently have in the Raity's Rise garage to bring you up to speed and help you better understand what is there and why it's there. None of the cars that I buy are for me to show off. They all have a particular meaning, a particular purpose with me, and that's why I have them. History was truly made with this car, and I really feel like the car's keeper for as long as I am on this planet, to use it, share it, and then pass it on to the next keeper. But I'm hoping that you're enjoying these deep dive reviews. I definitely have plans to do more, to tell more of my backstory, especially when it comes to drag racing. Believe it or not, I used to go to the drag strip every freaking weekend. Every weekend when I was younger. So we'll talk more about that. I want to get to this main road here, because this main road coming up, the long straight road, actually has meaning to me. And I'm not bragging about it whatsoever, but there will be a deep dive vlog about when I used to street race, and this road is one of those roads back in the day that we would street race on. So it's kind of surreal to be here in a car that I could have only dreamed of with 1,025 horsepower back when I was a kid, being on this road. But let's wrap this up in Raiti's Rides fashion. Oh, here we go. It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. We're gonna get back to where this all started, because if you're a subscriber, you know how we wrap these up. Thank you for your support, but we're gonna get back to where it all started and officially wrap this one up. So I will see you in a nanosecond.
All right, guys, another fun time. Anytime I could take you in one of my own vehicles, especially my Demon 170, always gonna be a good time. But let me know what you think. Are you enjoying these deep dives? Do you feel that I made the right choice going with a Demon 170, or should I have gone a different direction? Because I did talk about cars that I was also interested in. But let me know down in that comment section your input. Of course, if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raiti's Rides family. Need to give it up to Lori Raiti. No matter how difficult the situations are, she always rises to the top. The cream always rises to the top. Show her some love in the comment section. Thank you, Lori, for busting your butt. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.